Picking citrus straight from the tree is something that is so miraculous and still rather foreign to me as someone born in Canada in the icy north. California citrus blows my mind. Lemons, what do we do with lemons? We make lemonade, right? And I was really thinking about the larger metaphor or analogy of that, because life gives us lots of lemons. We get lemons all the time, but there's so many things you can do with that lemon. You can sit and let it rot. You can make hot water and lemon. You can make lemonade. You can make, lemon poppy seed muffins, right? And I was really thinking about how it's not always so much what happens to us, but it's how we carry what happens to us. So it's not so much the stress or the trauma or the experience or the incident, but rather it's how we hold it, how we handle it, how we move through it. And this itself is a process and something that evolves over time as you evolve. And I think as artists, we're given so many opportunities to make lemonade out of lemons all the time. This is beyond just like the logistics of rejection and the unknown and being your own creative force. This is something of consciousness. This is something of understanding that whatever circumstance or situation you've been given, you have the capacity to not just transform and transmute that, but meet it where it is and love it. And ultimately, that's the solvent. And that's something I've really been sitting with lately through these last few weeks. And I just had this image of like squeezing lemons, like squeezing the life out of them. And that's something I'm deconditioning from. The squeezing, the pushing, the forcing, the struggling, the suffering. So many of us, I work with clients all the time where, there's a very deeply embedded belief that we have to struggle to be successful, that we have to suffer to make any ounce of progress in our lives. And that's just a program. That's just conditioning. And so often I see, especially in the community of spirituality and being a conscious manifester of your life, we all want to kind of get out of or escape our current reality as quickly as possible. It's almost like we're saying that our current experience is bad. We're bad. The version of us who got us here is bad. And we need to be over there, which is good. Which is whatever that is, right? The success, the abundance, the recognition, the notoriety, blah, 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 blah. And it's different when I'm facilitating versus practicing on myself. My teacher of Kabbalah always talks about how when it's your own process, you just see darkness, right? When it's your own tikkun, when it's your own soul's correction, when it's your own trigger, when it's your own contraction, it's a lot of intensity. But as we begin to grow these muscles of how we move through reactivity, of how we move through triggers, of how we move through dense corners of our being, we develop musculature, we develop infrastructure of how to move through that. But what I love also in Kabbalah is that, the opponent, what we call it, the negative force, a positive force disguises the negative force that's really here to just help us evolve and grow. It's always at our same spiritual level. So it doesn't matter how advanced you are. It doesn't matter how, how capable you are, whatever it is, it's always at that same level. But it's here to advance us, right? It's not here to tear us down or whatever. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that by shaming, blaming, and making what you're currently experiencing not right or bad or that there's something wrong with you, we're actually cementing that more in place and keeping our desires farther away from us. Because, the parts of us that have developed these patterns or emotional reactivity or certain programs we've inherited, it's not because we were just like, I'm just going to choose to think and feel this way. We are very smart beings, but they came about, whatever it is, a limiting belief, a certain thought pattern, an emotional behavior, all of that came about as a means of survival, as a means of protection, as a means of keeping ourselves safe. Whether we inherited it from a parent, or it came from a traumatic experience, or, you know, someone said something to us in the 3rd grade that just stuck. Ultimately, when we bypass the opportunity to bring love and presence and compassion and empathy to it, we're giving it not only more fuel and cementing it in place, but then we throw ourselves into a shame and judgment spiral, which just makes it more of a suffering experience, more painful, more intense, when it doesn't always have to be. And this brings me back to tapping, because throughout the whole entire process of tapping, we're speaking about how we love and accept these parts of ourselves. They evolved there's a purpose to them. There's always a purpose to them. Everything we do has a deeper need that we're trying to get met, or else we wouldn't do it. And that's something I've really softened into these last few weeks in a new way, because it's very easy for me to self-punish versus self-love. And that's a pattern I'm evolving through. And we can forget so many times, but you know, what a beauty to remember it again. I just think of E. Cummings saying, always the beautiful answer, ask some more beautiful question. Like, it's this beautiful cycle. I'm holding these beautiful lemons. They smell so good. I think they're Meyer lemons. Glorious. So all this to say is that whatever you're currently going through, the portal to that next level is through the muck, it's through the mess, it's through the thing you're avoiding. And when we begin to get curious and bring presence and awareness to these parts of ourselves and ask questions, say, wow, when did this arise inside my being? What was put in place so I could keep myself safe? And we bring that somatic experience of safety to the experience. We open it, we soften it, and we are able to then rewire it and install a new vision. I mean, this is basically just the tapping process. And the beauty of doing the somatic process of tapping is that we learn this on a nervous system level. It's beyond logic, right? This is neuroception. This is beyond, like, I'm going to think my way to a better reality. That really just doesn't work. But also holding presence and honor and celebration for all the versions of you that got you here and the blessings that you have in your life right now. And that's fuel for all you're creating. And when we come back into this ventral vagal state, when we come back into this place of safety where we want to be creative and connect, that's the place to consciously manifest from, versus a place of lack, of shame, of blame, of resisting what's currently in front of you. So I hope this lands. I hope this helps. I hope you can add some lemonade to your life today. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if it resonates, if you're willing to make lemonade out of your lemons. And yeah, just wishing you a beautiful spring energy. The buds are out, the wind is blowing, succulent sensations, aromatics. It's gorgeous. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. And sign up for Rooted and Rising if you haven't yet. The link is below. Next Sunday, tapping movement. I'm not co-facilitating. I'm just leading a tapping session in this practice. Would love to see you there. Let's make lemonade out of our lemons, or whatever you want, and enjoy each step of the process. So much love. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao. Mwah.